ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
people barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
happens.
women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
It's another Friday afternoon on independent television and radio here in Benin City, and the program is Hitches and Voices. Don't forget, Hitches and Voices comes to you courtesy of Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NAVID. NAVID is a known organization here in Edo State that is advancing the rights of persons with disability, not just in Benin City, but in Nigeria at large. This program, Hitches and Voices, is coming to you live on independent television and radio simultaneously. So we want to say Happy New Year to our TV audience and a very Happy New Year to those who always find out time to listen to us on radio. My name is Kingsley Okoje, and my guest for today is the Executive Director, Navid Melody Omosa Esquire. Melody was with us on our Christmas edition, and today he's with us on our New Year edition. Melody Omosa, welcome once again to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you so very much.
It's always a delight having you on the program.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to our viewers and listeners, our followers on Hitches and Voices.
I will not forget to mention our sign language interpreter for today is Olayinka Constance Davis. She's the one doing justice to our deaf community on the program today. Like I said, it's our New Year edition. It's 2026, and I don't even care if I say it so many times. Once again, Happy New Year. We all are looking forward to this year to be a great year for everyone. That is not excluding the disability community. Last week on this program, the Executive Director, Navid, tried his best to take us through a roll call of some of the achievements that the community of persons with disability enjoyed in the year 2025. And he is also optimistic that the year 2026 will indeed be another great year. But on the program too today, we'll try our best to also show you how Navid decided to put smiles on the faces of persons with disability during the Christmas celebration. We'll take a clip from that event just to show you that Navid is indeed in the business of putting smiles on the faces of persons with disability in Edo State. But on the program today, we're just going to project into 2026. I want to know what the community of persons with disability in Nigeria and indeed in Edo State, what they should look up to in the year 2026. And my very first question, of course, would be, what should we be looking forward to in this year 2026?
All right, thank you so very much. Again, Happy New Year to our followers on Hitches and Voices. And I'm glad that we have a brand new year before us, a gift from the Almighty Himself. And as an organization, we're optimistic that this year will be a great one, and some of the things that we're not able to do in the past years, we should be able to record some very remarkable and significant successes this year, as far as deepening issues of inclusion and guaranteeing access for persons with disabilities in the polity generally. And that's our expectation, our prayers, and our work this year, to deepen advocacy, to elevate advocacy, so much so that persons with disabilities will find respite in society, being able to be counted and being able to be mainstreamed into governance and development initiatives in Nigeria. All of what NAVID will be doing in 2026 will be centered around that. And I'm glad, like I said last year, we have a commission for persons with disabilities in Edo State. You know very well that we have one at the national, but Edo State was able to join the bandwagon last year when in March 2025, a commission was inaugurated. This is the first year, full year, that the commission will be operating. In fact, the first time they will have a budget to their name. So we'll be excited to see, we'll be looking forward and excited to see what the commission will do for persons with disabilities. But as a non-state actor, which NAVID is, we are going to be holding the commission and other agencies of government accountable. We are ready to collaborate where we can and also hold them accountable, pointing them to what by law and by the law of the land, which the Edo State Persons with Disability, and by other framework, both legal and administrative, what they should be doing for persons with disabilities. So that's what we're going to be doing in 2026 in the various aspects, just to be sure that people with disabilities have their fair share of governance in 2026.
All right, I know over the years, or in the past 1 year, you've tried to partner with the Commission to give the Commission a good start. But I would like us to take it one after the other. Let's look at the area of education, which I know NAVID is very, very particular about. Education, like you always say, is a leveler for persons with disability. In the area of education, what would you want the Commission to do as regards to education for persons with disability in Edo State?
All right. Before now, we have not only advocated for the education of persons with disability, we have actually practically bear some of the burden of seeing to it that we do not only talk about education, but also going, if you like, out of our way, out of the normal call of advocacy, to providing scholarship grants for persons with disabilities and assisting them with devices that will aid their education, such as providing laptops, computer, up to wheelchairs for those who need it. Because you say education, a lot of things, there are a lot of variables for
that
persons
would aid
with
education.
That would, yes, a lot of variables. You are not just talking about reading and writing. Before you talk about that, one that is physically challenged, for instance, we need to be able to access the classroom, and where he doesn't have a wheelchair to do that, then education cannot happen for that individual. NAVID has not only talked about this, but we've gone out of our way to providing some of these assistive devices for persons with disabilities. We've also in the past advocated for a kind of tuition consideration for persons with disabilities in state-owned tertiary institutions, because at the time we found it quite challenging and demanding that we will go all out to source for fund for the education of persons with disabilities, and at the end of the day pay same fund to government institutions for children with disability to have access, knowing fully well that these institutions by themselves have barriers that would otherwise prevent the persons with disabilities from enjoying the facilities provided by this institution on an equal basis with others. For instance, I just mentioned sometimes we have to acquire wheelchair for persons with disabilities, right? You have a wheelchair as one that is as a user of wheelchair, and you get to school, there are no ramps, you have to find a way to access the classroom, you have to find a way to spend a lot of money to provide some of those things for yourself, which the institution ordinarily should be their responsibility. At the end of the day, you pay the fee that other students pay. You pay the boarding fee that others will pay. But yet there is no form of succor or relief for you by way of what government provides. All of that has been done. We've asked that, there should be some form of rebate. We have also gone ahead to even develop for the Edo State government an education roadmap on how education can be brought closer to the people, persons with disability, progressively in a 10 years duration plan. All of that we have done just to ensure that education is accessible to persons with disability. But we now have a disability law that has made education, if you like, compulsory for persons with disability from primary to tertiary level. So our advocacy has paid off. There is a law and there is a commission. What we want to see that the commission does is to liaise with those in the education ecosystem, the Ministry of Education, the State Ministry of Education, the State Universal Basic Education Board, the Board for Technical and Vocational Education, the Senior Secondary Education Board, all of these in the education sector, to find out what they have, their programs, how relevant, beneficial, and adaptable it is for persons with disabilities. So it's time for government to begin to look at their programs, look at their policies. And in this light, the commission should be seen leading that, because that is the mandate. That is their mandate. The law has saddled them with the responsibility for the education of persons with disabilities. And those who are the primary provider of education for the citizenry and residents of Edo State, the Ministry of Education and other like agencies, government, and by that I mean the Edo State Commission, should engage them to ensure that their policies, their programs, their activities have persons with disabilities inclusive in those programs, so that you do not say that, oh, education is free, generally speaking, by the Universal Basic Education Law for the first 9 years of the educational journey of any child. Yet, there are no inclusive schools where persons with disabilities can access across the 18 local government areas of Edo State, for instance. So the commission, it's high time they started talking about this, and not just to talk, but to actually ensure that the relevant agencies of government does the
All right, but
in this regard.
let's be very practical about this now. I know that, like you said, NAVID had designed a roadmap for inclusive education for the Edo State government. You did that quite well some time ago. I know that that document contains some short, medium, and long-term strategy to make education inclusive for persons with disability. Because we know that the universal law makes it compulsory for children generally, but the challenge that persons with disability are faced with is the issue of access to education. But what, in your view, would be a quick fix? Because we have a situation where the only primary school for people with visual impairment we have in Edo State is just one. It's been in Benin here. A lot of children don't have access to it. And I'm aware that there was a bus provided to commute students to school. That bus has been down for quite some time. I'm also aware that students in Idia College will have to pay for their hostel fee, and most children with disability can't afford this, and as a result, they are out of school. What, in your view, would be the quick fix for the commission to sort out some of these issues that persons with disability in Edo State are faced with?
All right. The persons with disabilities should have access to education at the same level that their counterparts without disabilities should enjoy presently. As to quick fix, the first thing is for the commission to undertake an assessment of what is happening presently. And you mentioned that there is one school. I understand that there are about 3 or 4 others which are actually moribund. There were arrangements for some schools, they're designated, but of course they do not have teachers, and so they are not able to admit children that should access those schools. But the problems you've just mentioned, having a vehicle that is broken down, having children not being able to pay for their accommodation and all that, the commission should see what is happening presently, take it from where it is, ensuring that what already is on ground, it's working, and take it from where they meant it to take it to the next level of incrementally increasing the participation of children with disabilities in the education space. It's not going to happen overnight, automatically, yes, but we will be satisfied if there is some form of progression in this regard, that, or this is what is, we ensure that what is happening presently is sustained, and you now want to take it to the next level of, okay, this is what we can achieve in 2026, going forward in another 2-3 years we should be able to do this, and that plan needs to be clearly spelled out.
Fantastic. We'll go over to the issue of employment, but before we do that, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, Hitches and Voices continues.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
In case you're joining in, the program is Hitches and Voices on independent television and radio. Like I always say, don't forget we are on independent television and we're broadcasting on independent radio as well. My guest is Melody Omosa, and he is projecting into the year 2026 what he expects the Edo State Disability Commission to do for persons with disability. And he talked on education, the intervention he would want the commission to do in the area of education. Let's move to the area of employment. That's one area NAVID is also very particular about. What would you expect the commission, and what would NAVID also be doing in this regard?
Well, for NAVID, we would work collaboratively with the commission to seeing that employment as far as persons with disabilities happen for those who are so qualified. I often will say that disability qualifies nobody for employment, but society will be irresponsible after you see your children or your citizens or residents with disability with all the odds go through school, properly trained, qualified, and are left to suffer used very advisedly because from lack of employment. How else can they be encouraged? We'll work with the commission to see that at least positive step is taken in that regard. But if there's one thing that I know the commission is already doing, they have this in mind and they've already started engaging. I'm aware, for instance, that the commission has met with the State Civil Service Commission and also with the Local Government Service Commission in the state, reiterating, emphasizing the need to prioritize the employment of persons with disabilities in the state. And so I'm confident that now that they have that in their agenda and they are following through, we will also just work to see that, yes, what needs to be done whenever there is employment opportunity, people with disabilities are not left out in that program. I am confident that this would work because this administration thus far is demonstrating readiness to accommodate persons with disability in the states, in the civil and public space, in the Edo State Civil and Public Service. Recall that only last December, there was a standalone employment from one young lady, a fiscally challenged lawyer, who just got called in September last year. And when in December a request was made for immediate employment to encourage her, encourage her resilience and determination and brilliance, government wasted no time in approving an employment. And I can also report that she has actually resumed work. Her letter of employment has been given to her and she has resumed job.
A big shout out to the Edo State government for making do their promise to employ Kindness Dausa, a fiscally challenged girl. I recall that NAVID made a case for her during our third Rights Above Charity lecture, which took place on the 3rd of December, and government moved swiftly to give that young lady employment. These are the kind of things we want to witness in Edo State, inclusive governance, and the government is smashing action with words. That's fantastic. But we'll take a break from all of that. Like I said in my intro, NAVID did a palliative disbursement to some persons with disability just to make them feel the moment of Christmas, and that was indeed a delight to see. We'll go to that video now. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with the Executive Director, NAVID. We'll be back.
I want to welcome you to this 2025 palliative distribution by NAVID in token for Christmas. First, we want to thank God Almighty for sparing our lives. That you are here in spite of everything that we've gone through this year. So
NAVID, and I want to also say thank you to NAVID for this palliative in order for us to be able to have a beautiful Christmas. Thank you so much, and God bless.
That's how we roll at NAVID. A big shout out to NAVID for always doing what they know how to do better. But in rounding up very quickly, I would like to move to the area of awareness. The law is here, the commission is here, but what's not so much present is the issue of awareness. How much do people know about the law? I'm aware that the law provides a moratorium period for people to adjust public buildings, for example, when it comes to building code, making public building accessible for persons with disability. I would just like you to touch on these few areas very briefly, and looking forward to 2026, how NAVID tend to partner with the Commission in terms of awareness about the law and the Commission.
Well, the relationship between NAVID and the Commission presently is symbiotic, and I think that we are emphasizing on the awareness. The law clearly mandates the Commission to create awareness about its existence, and the Commission will be encouraged to follow that part of the law so that persons in the society will be aware of the disability law and what their responsibilities under the law is. And so, yes, there's a moratorium of 5 years, and awareness will be created.
No, but it's like the state law is 3 years.
You don't wait. It's 5 years also.
All right.
You don't wait for 5 years before you start sensitizing the people and before the steps that need to be taken for modification of public buildings will be taken. Yeah. So we'll work with the Commission to create the relevant awareness.
2026 promised to be a very good year for the community of persons with disability in Edo State and in Nigeria at large. We know it's also going to be a campaign season, a campaign year moving towards to 2027. And we hope the disability community in Nigeria will be part of that conversation moving towards 2027. It's a wrap on the program today. We'll do this again next week. My name is Kingsley.
Perhaps before I just, let me also thank the founder, management, and staff of ITV. It's the very first edition for 2026. They've been our very big partners. So kudos to them. Wishing all of them a very happy new year and a prosperous one at that.
We know ITV is very disability friendly, so shout out to ITV management and staff as well. We'll do this again next week. Today, my name is Kingsley Okoje, saying spot the hitch and be a voice.